Gosh, okay. So I did it. I have literally just finished up at my dance class, and I thought to myself, you know what, I might even do a little bit of a recording tomorrow about how it went. And then I was like, no, this is the energy. This is real. I'm genuinely sweaty. I would love to say that leading up to the dance class, I was like, oh, you know what, I'm sure I'll be fine. I can't believe I had, beginner dance class jitters, but it wasn't like that at all. In fact, I actually was super nervous going to it all the way up until I actually entered the doors. And I think it would be a different situation if it was a class for beginners and it was like one of those intensives, like a 6 or 8 week intensive where irrespective of fitness level, we're all at least starting on day 1, week 1. That wasn't at all the case. It was like an open class. I knew this, by the way. This wasn't a shot. I think I mentioned earlier that I wasn't able to get my ideal class. This little live video is far less about actually giving you any decent video footage in terms of visuals, but rather more so having just the vibe. Oh, it feels so good. It feels so good. So yeah, it's pitch black, but hopefully, just my energy, just how I feel about this whole situation unfolding comes across and excites, energizes, inspires you if you've been holding back to freaking do it. I know I said it before I went to the class, but freaking do it. This is my first professional dance class in years. I don't even know how long. Everyone was really beautiful. I was so blessed to be surrounded by such beautiful people in that space. And the teacher was incredible. She was sassy as all hell. My fitness level managed to hold up. Thankfully, there's so many moves to master that it's like cheating because you can kind of constantly sneak in rests. So what I mean by that is the teacher will take you through a move and then there's this moment where she'll slow it down and then bring it back up to tempo in line with music, and all of those little cuts allow for you to kind of remember. I had a few of them, but I felt amongst mankind, amongst similar folk, I felt in essence really comfortable because I looked around, and when I was taking a breath and kind of having a drink of water, I kind of just felt super comfortable. I wasn't this unfit on the verge of having heart failure beach whale. I was like most of them, a little bit uncoordinated, a little less fit than ideal, a little bit anxious. Most of the people in the class seemed to have been going for many weeks. It showed. They were hitting it, really smashed it out of the park in those. I was not one of them, and that's okay. I did it. I have officially turned the corner for me in so many ways, stepping into the unknown, embracing the fear, the knowledge that I was going to be embarrassed, and just doing it anyway felt so good. I encourage you, especially if you're listening to this and not writing that resume, applying for that job, asking for that pay rise, interviewing for that promotion, having a chat to your manager regarding a possible secondment or more flexible working arrangements in your particular role. If for you, maybe it was similar and it was just like freaking getting out there and doing dance or joining a gym, then from me to you, freaking get off your ass. Do it. Because I feel so good, like so good. Okay, I feel so freaking good. I have just in this short walk, come up with a bunch of really cool business ideas. I'm helping an executive at the moment who specifically has some people challenges. She manages 3 large teams that then they manage other teams. And there's one particular challenge she's facing. And we've got a session coming up tomorrow. And I was super excited. I have some ideas that I want to throw around and get her to think about in terms of the pattern of behavior that her communication style might be driving and a way in which she can strategize around that. Anyway, these moments are so good. I feel high on life. I came up with a bunch of additional ideas that I don't think would have come to me otherwise. I am going to go into the office and nut it out. I'm super excited, probably till midnight or so, get in some really decent hours. And on that note, before I head off, I thought, you know what, this is a really good opportunity to celebrate and bring something to light. A lot of people ask me, what's a day in the life of Louise? And I have done little videos before, and certainly my clients know because I live, eat, dream, smell, breathe, sniff their world. But for those of you who don't, I am far less in my own business about kind of this concept of 9 to 5 or doing like a 9 to 10 hour day. I have those days if the sun's amazing and I don't have clients and I can kind of do some of the admin stuff and follow up emails to clients and the likes on the back end at any hour, then I will intentionally do like 2 hours of face-to-face stuff, and then for the rest of the day I might even go down to the beach or go for a little bit of a cruise, cafe, some coffee by the beach. And I digress. I prioritize my energy almost more than anything else. And not only did I not do that as an employee, I couldn't because of the rigidity that comes with being an employee, needing to work set hours. And even when there's flexibility, there's still a fair bit of rigidity that's generally understood in those roles when you're an employee. I now really take effort to take a step back throughout different periods of my day, every day, and check in with myself. How do I feel? What's my energy levels like? Do I need a nana nap? Do I need to just get up, move away from the screen, go for a quick walk? Do I need to pat some of the neighborhood dogs to get some feel-good vibes before I start something really heavy, possibly like a client one-to-one, especially those where I represent my clients in litigation-like matters, so escalations on the workplace-employee relations side of the house. So it's late at night. So I think if you put this in paper, I'd seem like a workaholic freak if I said I'm going back into the office work. But this is the beauty of having my own business and servicing my clients in such beautiful ways that truly light up my soul and theirs, is that I can quite genuinely turn around and go, I am freaking pumped. I just did a dance class. Didn't have to go to emergency as a result. Yay, win. Like, seriously. I had really low expectations going into this, and I can just go back into the office with all of this energy and freaking put it into my clients. I've got back-to-back sessions tomorrow. I have 6 clients, which might not sound like much. I used to think it didn't sound like much. That is a hectic day. They're really full-on sessions, and a couple of those are actually 90-minute strategy calls, so they're intensive. And I can put all of my energy and effort into those sessions. I think about a couple of leaders that I have on the books at the moment, and whilst they are employees, they don't have the same level of rigidity, and quite often they kind of forget to give themselves permission and also ask for permission from their boss or the business to actually have more flexibility in the way in which they work. So as an example, I have a client, and when we kind of started, she was stuck in this employee mindset because for the most part, she spent the first 15 years needing to do not far off kind of a 9 to 6 job, 1 hour lunch break, give or take. Let's be real. Do people even get those outside of the government? Not always, often not. Was me kind of shifting and working with her on shifting her mindset around her worth and how she could position that in a way that would show the business a return on investment for her taking the time off, and what that would bring to the business in terms of the level of just energy and value that she could offer if she was working at times of the day that best suited her. And so actually, I think it was like the second or third session with her, I drafted up a couple of letters to her head of HR and manager, just in relation to getting more flexibility in her working arrangement. And prior to that, it's not that she came to the table with I just never had the guts. Some of my clients do. That's the scenario, limiting beliefs. This was far more of a case wherein she just hadn't considered it. She had never thought about flexibility. She'd never had it before. Working in the financial services sector, it's not something that tends to be done versus, for instance, some of the creative agencies. You see more flexibility, certainly not as much in the legal and financial services sector. She was blown away, not only because she kind of went, wow, I can actually ask for this, and thanks for drafting it. So it kind of gave her a skeleton and a bit of a backbone, so she didn't feel like she was alone doing it. One of the big reasons I think people book in with me is when you get my time and effort, when I'm drafting up emails or communication strategies, whether it be to your boss, to your team, to your manager, to the organization, maybe it's a small business and you head up that business, I am leveraging years of experience. So you're not kind of just getting this is kind of the vibe, this is what might work, give it a go, but rather more so, I have done this literally hundreds, yikes, oh my gosh, possibly possibly thousands of times. It must be. Drafted email communications in regards to flexible working arrangements. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, like thousands of times. So I tend to know what works, what doesn't, what drives certain patterns of behaviors, the language that businesses speak, especially across different industry sectors. A drafted up comms that comes from me for a client who works in, for instance, the media industry would be quite different from a client that works in telco, that would be quite different from those that work in government departments. And yeah, I think by session 4, she had a huge win. She'd already started her changed working arrangements. And quite often we have a good chat, outside of our sessions, we kind of have a loose chat. I love my clients. I love it a bit. Just about the nature of these flexible working arrangements and what that's freed her up to do. It enables her to specifically feel more energized, less guilty, less like a bad parent, more willing and wanting to commit and actually engage with her work at a greater, deeper level. And that's what a lot of the time these pieces provide. It's not obvious. It's not just a game of, oh, okay, we're just transitioning the hours around. So that allows for greater flexibility for parents to, look after their loved ones, take them to school, pick them up, go to their sporting events. A lot of the time, it's far more of a cascading effect. Like that in itself, yay, huge win. But it's the other pieces, right? Like just feeling freaking good about yourself, about your health, about your day, about your energy levels. Turning around, going to the office and being like, I got to see my kid play the flute, or I got to see them do, a little performance at school, and they just looked across at me and I was in the crowd and so many years I wasn't, and I could just smile at them and they smiled back. And at those smallest little moments like that mean when we're stepping into our work, when we turn our laptop computer on and we start work, we're in more of a healthy headspace. So for me, I am in such a good headspace. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh, this is like a high. Oh my gosh. Imagine if it's like this, maybe like this after every Monday class. Like, I don't know if this is like a new high as a result of me having had all this anxious energy and then having a freaking blast and meeting some truly beautiful, beautiful people at this dance class. Or maybe this is just what my Mondays are now going to look like. I'm genuinely not sure. It doesn't matter. I'm going to embrace this moment, be truly present in it, go to the office and freaking nut out some really good stuff for my clients tomorrow. So from me to you, if you relate to the dance class, or maybe it's a gymnasium or something like that for you, go, just do it. Just freaking pay the money and do it. Maybe for you, it's as simple as Googling meetup groups. So on that note, from me to you, with the most pumped up, high as a kite like energy, go get them.